Kristen and I moved apart, so this is how we have our coffee dates now.
You need to wait, I don't have it ready. Whoa, that was loud. All right.
I think that was good.
We are rolling. Welcome to Pristine Caffeine with Taryn and Christine.
How much did you practice that?
I did not, actually.
Really? None?
Yeah, try it.
Welcome to Pristine Caffeine with Christine and Taryn.
That was good. That was good. She crushed that. But we're here drinking caffeine, which I need. It's
Can
too
you
early.
please tell me where Christine and Taryn came from?
Do I actually know? I feel like you started calling me Christine, but I always said Christine from Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, that is not where I got it from.
I always sing, because you've never watched Phantom of the Opera.
No, because they don't like musicals.
Well, you need to.
Okay.
So when I sing the song, Christine, Christine. I'm gonna stop. But if you watch Phantom of the Opera, you know what that's from.
I think it came from whenever you were like in a weird mood, you would call me Taryn. Or if you were like whining about something like, Taryn, can you come get this for me? Taryn, can you pick this up? And it would be like a...
And it worked.
And then I started calling you Christine, I don't know, when you would be like a little sister.
Yeah.
Which ended up being
frequently.
more and more.
Which is frequent. But anyway, we're here drinking some caffeine.
Christine Caffeine.
In my new apartment, we now live apart.
100 steps.
But I'm hosting this one. Taryn will host the next one. But this one,
and I will have the coffee ready.
What are we chatting? What are we chatting about?
You know, because of the cups, we are going to do a little Paris chat. And it's not going to be about volleyball. It's just going to be about all the other cool, small details that you would have no idea about otherwise.
What was what's the theme of it?
Oh, tell me you lived in the Olympic Village without telling me you lived in the Olympic Village. And it really was quite a strange experience because everybody talked about how much there was going to be so much energy and so many people moving around, and there always were. Like every single time you looked outside on the balcony, we were right by the entrance. And in order to get in and out, it was kind of frustrating how much you had to like check your bag, and then it had to go through like one of those airport security scanners.
What do those bag check things even do?
Nothing. It beeped and they go.
I don't understand. Because sometimes I did have to check my bag, and then when we would get back from the Eiffel Tower venue at like midnight, and sometimes they would just like let you walk through.
Maybe you just looked so tired that they were just like, this girl can't comprehend.
Every single time I was so confused. And then whenever I had my little pouch, I never had to check that. It was only when I had a backpack.
Yeah. But the other thing that you always had to have was your credential on. Mm-hmm. And Kristen, what was your award?
I was the first the first athlete at the 2024 Olympic Games to lose their credential. So we were very fortunate. The USA provided us with what we called the HPC, which is just like the high performance center. It was like a 20-minute bus ride to get there from the village.
It had anything from a gym to volleyball courts to a track and field to different dining hall that you could have a little change of scenery, different food. Anyway, keep going.
So on day 2, we went there and I was like, I'm going to cold tub, get the legs feeling fresh. So I took off my credential, I hung it in the locker room, went in cold tub. Of course, I cut things a little close on time. So Taryn was like, hurry, the bus is leaving. And the bus only came every hour. So if you missed that bus, I was just stuck there for a while. And I got the text, hurry. So I was like, oh no. I'm like soaking wet. I'm trying to change my clothes. I sprint out. I make it on the bus. We get back to the village. I was like thinking back. I was like, where did I put it? And I was like, I know where it is. It is just hanging on the locker And of course, I called our dietitian. Brooke was there, and I was like, "Is my credential hanging?" She was, "Yep, it's exactly where it is." But luckily, the staff, they took me to the check-in area, and they were like, "Oh, this definitely happens, but you are the first one this has happened to this year." And they printed me out a new one. They deactivated the other one. I got a new credential. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, they do not let you in there without a credential. They won't even let you across the street. Like your family could be one street over in like kitty corner, and that was the closest that you could be, and there was just security guards that were blocking everything off. So they really did do a good job of keeping us very safe, and nobody could even get close. There were so many people out there trading pins. Like pins were a currency.
I don't know.
there.
You say no one could get close. I did think it was wild that as soon as you like exited the village, they just had a ton of people right there.
Yeah, but they couldn't get into, like, there was no way they were getting into the village.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
But as soon as you crossed that line, it was like, can I have your signature? Can we switch pins? American. It was a lot.
Yeah. Was the village though, when you thought about the village, was it anything you thought it would be like?
No, I felt like I was back in college and it was freshman life.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
I mean, it was like I said, they did our laundry. However, it was... Do you want to explain the laundry?
Well, first, we did not know how the laundry worked. We were given
We brought far too many clothes.
So much. We didn't know that there was going to be laundry that readily available. Like, I thought it was going to be like once a week, or you get like 2 pieces like we did at other events. But you would get 2 laundry bags.
Bags.
And one of them was colors and one of them was whites. And you had to drop it off before 10 a.m. and then you could pick it up that same day. And you really wanted to pick it up.
After 6 p.m. you could pick it up if you dropped it off at 10 a.m.
You really wanted to pick that up because those clothes would come out in wrinkled messes. It looked horrible. It did not look clean at all.
I remember one day I showed up.
Why are you wearing the wrinkliest shirt I've ever seen?
It was so weird. I think they tried to make it. Because that was what I had clothes that I was okay with just like
wrinkled,
having them wash and be wrinkled. So I just kept re-wearing those because I was like, oh, that was easy. And that one shirt. I only wore a certain amount of clothes because a lot of my clothes did not fit. Yeah. Because I got like extra smalls and everything.
Well, being extra small.
Yeah, I know. I think they were trying to tell me something. But that was kind of sad. We got all the gear and I couldn't wear like at least half of it. So that was a kind of a sad thing, which I did actually put in. I
put that in mine too. Yeah. Because you would think athletes, there would be
we're talking about we had to fill out like a post-Olympic survey. I was very sad because I could only wear half the gear. So there was a survey to fill out.
But that was the really cool part when we arrived. Well, we were 29 hours late, which means we missed the welcome opportunity. We thought we were going to miss it, actually. And then we get a text from the director of USA Volleyball, and he's like, you need to get on the shuttle. How much time did we get? 5 minutes?
I think it was like 10.
Okay, 10 minutes, but we didn't know where the shuttle was. I had just gotten out of the shower after traveling all day. And the welcome experience is like, you want to look cute, you want to have fun, you want to enjoy
There's going to be so many pictures taken.
Those 3 hours.
Yeah, we were doing makeup on the bus. It would like hit a bump, and you're like, oh no.
The eyeliner would go up.
Crap.
And Drew's just passed out.
Yeah. What a first international travel experience that was. Man, the village, the bakery. I miss that.
Me too. We were right next to the bakery, so imagine that you just get to wake up and smell fresh bread every single morning. A French baguette, a chocolate bread.
No, the chocolate bread.
The chocolate
bread.
The sourdough bread.
That was like our mornings would consist.
Yes.
We'd wake up and it would be like, all right, who got up kind of early, and that person would be the one who was like, okay, I'm gonna hit the bakery. I'll meet you.
They would drop off their laundry and then go hit the bakery.
And it would literally be like, oh my goodness, they have the chocolate bread this morning. Let's go. Make sure like you would get a ton. We'd get some for our providers. And then on the days where they had sourdough, because for the most part they were just whipping out baguettes, but on the days where they had sourdough, that you hit like a gold mine with that. And
that was the best text all week. sourdough today in the bakery.
And then, so one person would be in charge of getting that. The other one would kind of go scope out the layout of the food hall, and it'd be like, I'm in World 1. And that's where you would go meet the other person.
Because there was 6, we thought. There was 7. There was a mystery, the hidden one.
Continue explaining the way the dining hall was.
Yeah,
because that was kind of crazy.
You walk in, it's a giant, it almost looks like a train station, and then there were 3 on the left and 3 on the right, and each one of them, it was like World 1, World 2, Asia 1, and it was French. Just named, different things, and so that's how we would find each other, because there were so many people and so many tables. But we found out, we had like 5 meals there.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, if you turn left right away, there was a hidden dining hall that had fresh food and no line, which was huge because there were so many athletes, so many people wanting to eat, especially in the morning, you wanted to get in and get out, or at night for dinner. There were so many people in line, and we finally found, actually somebody told us about the hidden dining hall.
Yeah.
That was
a little, I feel like, disappointed in the dining hall because, like we said, it said world, French, Asia. There were supposed to be like different cuisines.
Yeah.
But for breakfast, everything was the exact same.
Yeah.
They were like subpar scrambled eggs, and especially at the beginning, that was tough when they were like running out of protein. The lines were insane.
They were
it definitely got better, but I feel like still the flavor of the food, I was expecting more. Wasn't it like, didn't Micah say this was
Micah Christensen, the men's indoor volleyball setter, third Olympics, and he was like, yeah, the food is probably the most disappointing here, but for Kristen was not ideal.
Not disappointing, the HPC food.
So good.
That stuff was delicious. So
we were so lucky for Team USA. At the bottom of it was almost like giant apartment condos. And at the very bottom, there was an entire training room that had massage therapists, PTs, chiros, anything that you wanted. And then on the other side, there was like a little snack area.
That was called the Arc, which I feel like that is something, the amount of different like lingo things. It was like the Arc, the HPC, the TUI. When we went in and Sean kept throwing out all these little
they were like, your
acronyms.
NGB is going to be at the TWE, and I was like, can we just actually speak English? It was like walking into a hospital and all the doctors are saying all their lingo, and you're like, can you just give it to me in layman's terms?
That was overwhelming. Yeah. I was over the first 2 days, especially when it was like, okay, you have to meet at the transport mall, and the bus is leaving at this time, and you have to be here and here, and it was just like, and we had gotten there late. So it was also like, we didn't have any time to explore. It was just like,
go. And there was no time.
I remember just being like, I want to just lay in bed and breathe for a minute. Because I felt so lost. And I even texted Brian. Brian's our data analyst.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you have any time to just like explain everything? Because again, and they had tried to talk us through it, I feel like, or give us information beforehand, but it was just so hard to see like on a graphic of like, this is where the dining hall is, this is where the transport mall is, this is how the bus is. Like, you can't explain that. You just have to like go do it. That was probably the most. I don't get like frazzled or like super anxious often, but those first 2 days I was definitely.
And it's already, when you're traveling with somebody, it's already high stress. And, like those tiny little fights, if you ever go on like a family vacation and you're just like, okay, they've had a day. We had 3 days in a row where it was just days. Yeah. But those buses were wild.
Oh my gosh.
And they had to, in order to keep the athletes safe, they would tape every single window, and they would tape the bottom shut, and they would tape everything just so that it was
buses,
secure.
For the most part, no air condition.
No AC. Everybody was sweating. It was like a sauna in there.
We were like, can we break the tape just to open up the window?
A couple people did. A couple athletes, they were just like, I'm so hot, and they ripped the tape open. And then by the end, they were way more relaxed because they kept giving us non-air conditioned buses. And then they would lose the buses and you would be waiting there and you would get done with your 10 p.m. practice. It would be 11 o'clock. You were waiting for the 11:35 shuttle. It would take you another 45 minutes to get back to the Olympic Village, and then you would have to go eat. But you have to make sure you check in your bags, because if you don't check in your bags, you have to walk all the way back outside of the athlete dining hall, come back around. It was like a coat check, and you would get a number.
What was that one day? Was it? I think it was a practice evening, because we tried to keep our schedule really late because we were playing so late, and we go. It was still at the beginning, so we weren't sure where exactly pickup was. We were with like a bunch of the USA staff members. And do you know what I'm talking about? We finished practice and they're like, okay, the bus picks us up at this location. So we're all walking over there. We get there and they're like, the bus is supposed to come in like 5 minutes. Meanwhile, they're like, we can't find the bus.
They're like, it's missing.
They literally were like, it's missing. We can't locate the bus.
We can't
We're like, so what does that mean? They're like, is there another one coming? And they were like, yeah, the next one comes in 30, 45 minutes, but we also
don't know.
We are not sure. We're like, okay. And it's literally like 11:30 p.m.
We're starving. We're tired.
Yeah. And we're like, okay, like what? And then luckily Brian is like, we're getting an Uber. The Uber can't pick us up in the area because it's restricted. So we just start walking. I'm bringing up the rear.
She was so slow in the back. I was like, is Kristen even here?
Like, can't walk. I'm like so tired. I think my foot has like a blister from walking so much. And just like the bags, again, I was tired. Finally, we get in this huge van. And again, the van, since there's so much security, to drop us off, you can't be dropped off like that close to the village. So we have to be dropped, which it's like a 50-minute drive back to the village. Get dropped
50, not 15, 50.
Yeah. Get dropped off again, have to walk all the way. And the way the dining hall worked, you had to drop off your bags at this area beforehand. You couldn't bring any backpacks or anything into the dining hall. And we did not know that at the time. This is like day 2. So again, this is my overwhelmed self of just like, are you kidding me? Like, this is ridiculous. So I'm walking. Taryn is hungry. You do not want to mess with hangry Taryn. She beelines it. Again, she does not know that you have to check the bag. So she's already going. And Brian is like, yo, Kristen, Drew, you got to check your bag. I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, if Taryn gets to this dining hall and they make her walk back to check her bag, this is not going to be good. So luckily, somehow she got in, which tight security.
It was tight security and nobody was messing with me in my hangry state.
I was like, Brian, if someone tells Taryn she has to come back, I feel bad for that person. Like, I literally remember, because he called us, because we had no idea. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Because it was probably like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and there we were just going to eat our dinner.
At 1 a.m.
But yeah, that was a memorable evening.
And then they came in, sat down by me, and I had finally gotten some food, and so I could speak again. Because I try to just shut my mouth because I know I'm going to say something mean or just like be angry or cranky or something. So I kind of go silent in order to not bite somebody's head off because I'm so hungry. And they were like, how did you get your backpack in? I was like, I don't think anybody was messing with me.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Were there any other like, that one was just fun. Oh, how we had our like Secret Service people watching us.
They were cool. We did the USA.
I don't even know if we can disclose their name, so we won't say their name.
USOPC, sorry, more acronyms. The Olympic Committee. They sent like each. I don't know. I don't know who all got it, but
because we had so many people, it was just at the venue because they couldn't like watch all of us at all times.
Yeah.
So it was just the venue had security.
And he would so we would get dropped off by these buses at who knows what time because it was never on time. And it would be anywhere from a 45-minute drive to some people had up to 2 hours of a drive. And you would walk in and they would be hiding somewhere in the venue. He would pop out behind a porta potty or just like behind a fence, and he would be like, hey.
Literally would just like sneak out. You're like, whoa.
You're like, that is terrifying. You had just, it was cool. And
I
the
felt
guys
safe,
were really
though.
cool. Mm-hmm.
It was. We would just be like walking and we're like, where are they? We know we're being watched.
Especially in the rain delay when we had to get,
oh my gosh, the rain delay.
when we had to exit, and then they were just all hands on deck getting us out of there safely, because everybody was evacuating at the same time, and people were like, can we have pictures, can we have pictures? And we're like, we're trying to finish.
Wait, people asked you for pictures?
Yeah. But I was like, I'm trying to get out of, like, we need to leave.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, picture, sign. And I was like, I can't, I have to leave. And so he grabbed me. We went around the backside. And somebody actually, like, grabbed my shoulders. But I think it was one of our family. I don't know who it was. And somebody grabbed, I was like, oh my gosh. It was terrifying.
I don't know what, you were, like, so far behind me.
Yeah.
Because I think you were with him, because I was with D. Lee and the guy, the like tournament guy.
Yeah, I was way behind you. So he stayed with me.
Do you think it was wild that they did not have like, there wasn't like protocol? Like, how did they not think through like a rainstorm, and then like, how were we going to get back to the athlete?
It was actually a really scary time, because everybody was just trying to get out at the same time.
And then we started running. I had like stuff over my head. I couldn't even like see.
I couldn't see. And he grabbed me like, and led me out, which was really nice, because I did not, like, I was just so overwhelmed. And you're in the middle of a game, you're in like total game mode. And then they put us in the back room lounge area, and we were just covered in towels.
We were on the court, and they wanted to put us initially in one of the boxes on the side, like on the court, but on the side. And I walk in, and it's an ice box. There's so much air. The guy was even like, yes, it's even air conditioned. I'm like, wait, we don't want to get cold. We want to stay as warm as possible. So they were like, oh, yeah. So we go back. We're like underneath the stands. It's still like dripping wet. And then finally, I think D. Lee was like, get these girls back to the athlete
Because
tent.
that's when people were like trying to like get my attention. They're like, sign, picture. And I was like, I'm trying to figure out if I get to play a game or not.
So I remember, I just had like, they gave us like this little tiny towel.
It was like a hand towel.
I had it over my head, and luckily D. Lee was like in front of me, and he was like, watch this step, watch. He had like his phone, because I couldn't see anything. I was just trucking through, because there were just people running everywhere.
Well, I could not squeeze through as fast.
Yeah. And then we get back to the athlete tent. They're just like throwing towels on us, like wrap up in this.
And then he comes back every 10 to 15 minutes. He's like, if we don't finish in 4 hours, you guys might have to finish this 0-0 set 1 tomorrow morning. And I was like, what?
What was going through? I don't think we ever actually talked. What was going through your head? Were you like, no, we need to finish this?
Yeah. That's exactly what was going
I thought, because I was like, one, I knew us going to the fact that we went to a third set, I thought that was really good. I was like, I think we won pool, regardless if we won or lost. So I was like, wait a minute. If we have to start this whole thing over again, because that would have we would have then not won pool. So I was like, no, we're playing tonight. We are playing. And then, luckily we did. But that was stressful. That was wild.
There was a lot. There was just so much unknown. And when people are like, you literally cannot prepare for anything, you can't. And
that's again what I wrote in the survey. I was like, no matter what you like prepare for, you cannot, no one can explain to you what that is going to feel like when you're out there on the court.
That, or you're so nervous and anxious, and there's so much unknown, and you are just in a completely different spot. And when people say that there is, like, you do have to get used to it. Like, if it's your first time, there's so much thrown at you, and you have to perform well. I don't know. Anyway, the Olympics was crazy. It was probably the most insane moment of my life.
The village, again, those first couple days, that was just like, I feel like I was like hit with like, this is overwhelming.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was like a round 2 of doing all that, I feel like I would be...
Yeah, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is normal. Or expecting things to be late or not happening, or you have to walk really far, being really late or something.
Yeah, but overall, Crazy.
Wow. I just feel like I jumped right back into all of it. It was cool. Everybody's asking, what's next? You guys gonna do 2028 LA? That was before Paris even happened. And to some people, I was like, what are you doing next year? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, so you want me to know what I'm doing in 4+ years? Yeah. It really is. It's so wild to like think in terms of quads. And it's always like, hey, are you going to do the next one before the first one even happens?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was, again, going back to the survey, it was kind of wild. What would you do, like, in preparation for LA 2028? And I was like, oh my gosh. It also made me just, again, I mean, I felt this before, but even more so of, like, this whole, like, USA Volleyball, they want us to podium. And it's like, what can we do to make that happen? And I think that was for me, that was very, very difficult to kind of like swallow after we lost, about like all of these people just spent 4 years trying to do whatever it took for us to podium. And even those 2 weeks, like it was all hands on deck, like so much treatment, all of this. And I was just like, I feel like I just let all of them down so much, and that was hard. But obviously they were all like, we love you guys, like we are so proud of you. Like that was, I feel like it was, I don't know, it made it okay in a way.
I mean, letting your country down is not fun. Anyway, but cheers.
I finished my coffee.
What an experience. I didn't.
Pristine caffeine with Taryn and Kristen. I think it's funny how you say, whenever you say it, like flip it. But anyway,
I think it'll catch on.
Hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for the coffee.
You're welcome. Can't wait to
next
come
week.
over next time.